All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Range Talk. My name is not Cisco.
My name is not Justin.
Well, now I'm just offended. How dare you?
I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start saying everyone's names in the building.
Hello, my name is Bob.
There's no Bob here anymore.
We're just old employees. But this is going to be a very interesting talk for today's topic for today's podcast. The best Airsoft experiences we've had, or the best Airsoft stories that we've experienced.
Yeah, actually, this is something that we get asked quite often during the live streams and stuff. Well, not as of recent, but I used to get it a lot. We've been playing for a while, and I think that it's just really something kind of cool to talk about. I mean, sharing Airsoft stories amongst friends is one of the dopest things, especially like if you play with them and then you go to eat after.
Yeah.
Or like hang out after the day of play. That's part of the Airsoft experience, in my opinion. Like it's more than just about playing. It's about that friendship, that camaraderie that you have.
Yeah, it honestly can extend to all. So we're going to be talking about both, playing wise, what our best experiences have been, the best stories that we can remember in our, I think collectively between us it's like 20 something years. I know for sure it's more than 10 for you, more than 10 for me. So yeah. I'd say it's maybe even close to 30 years of experience between the both of us.
I think that might be accurate. I think
Right.
that might be accurate indeed.
So again, it's going to expand from many different facets of the airsofting experience, right? But first and foremost, what would you say is your best experience in terms of playing Airsoft? Like, what are some of the things that come to mind when the best things that happened to you when you've played in the many years that you've been playing?
Well, are we talking about specific events?
Specifically playing. It doesn't have to be events. It can be
just
games.
Games?
Games, maybe events themselves.
Now that we're talking about this, there's a lot to digest here. There's a lot to
gameplay.
unpack.
We'll go specifically gameplay.
Gameplay. Okay, so I think you're very similar to me. You like objective-based games. When I've played games where the objectives were really simple and get done really quickly, and I played games where it's too much. Have you ever been in that experience where you played a game, whether it be like some type of event or just a regular walk-on, where the rules of this specific game were just ridiculous?
I haven't had that happen to me too much, where there was any event that was too complicated in its rule sets, or the rules themselves were too much, or for the objective it was just not really easy to really. Most of the events that I played where there was objectives, they were pretty straightforward to follow. I've never really had that experience, actually, thank God.
Yeah.
The only one I think that's people have had complaints about from other people, I didn't mind it, was the tactical scavenger hunt type deal. You know, when there's some type of object or some type of
something hitting on the field.
Hidden on the field, and you have to find it. That one can be a little bit drawn out, but overall I've had pretty good experiences. But I'm assuming you've had pretty bad experiences with that.
Yeah, well, there's one instance that comes to mind. So we're not even talking about the best, we're talking about the worst now.
Yeah, we're leading up with the worst, right?
Yeah. So at this particular event, there were 3 different teams on the field. Basically, let's just say there was NATO, there was Russian, and there was civilians. Both the Russian and NATO forces had to interact with the civilian team and use them to help win their goals. But the civilian team were just chaos gremlins.
Okay.
So they could decide, hey, I'll work with you, but in the middle of working with them, just betray them, right? And that's a wild card factor, which is very interesting. I think in layer with doing all these different things all at once was very just messy, in my opinion. So in this particular event, it was maybe a 3-4 hour game during this event. So they had it broken up into sections. So there was a civilian population just running around doing crazy things. Both teams had to look for something specific. And both teams also had to rescue an HVT from the opposite end of the field, right? And on top of that, they obviously, try to stay alive, get all the objectives, rescue the HVTs, and win over the civilian populace. However, the civilian populace could mess with either team, and they could steal objectives or
I can see it's going real bad.
No, yeah. In retrospect, looking at it on paper, it sounds like very Like there's like a lot going on. It sounds like a lot to do, and it was a lot of fun. Like on paper, that's what I read it when I bought the ticket for the event. Going into the event and playing the event, it was so chaotic, and the way that the event was ran. There were no clear definitions of the winner, unfortunately. Just too many things went wrong, and it really left a bad taste in my mouth for that type of event. I do think that it could have done very well, but I think here's the biggest problem. Because it was such an intricate event, they allowed walk-on players to still play.
Oh, yeah, that's mistake number one.
Yeah, the walk-on players, they didn't care. When they came to play, they just wanted to do team deathmatch or capture the flag or something. So
I think that's one thing that we were actually made a very smart move on when it came to BB Wars, one that we have coming up. Even at the time of this video, October 21st, buy your tickets. But the BB Wars event that we have going on, Air Revival, like no walk-ons the day of, right?
Yeah.
There's not going to be any walk-on tickets available the day of. You have to make sure that you buy your ticket ahead of. You essentially pre-ordering your ticket.
yeah, exactly. You're pre-registering for the event, and it's funny because I just talked to Mike with SC Village and Team Biohazard about gameplay events. This one is going to be a little bit more intricate than a previous BB Wars, but it's not going to be too overwhelming. We're still going to have specific role classes. There's going to be the LMG role class, the sniper role class that are going to have full auto and FPS restrictions for them. And there's going to be basic riflemen. We're still working out the finer details, but I think it's going to be a very well blended event. There should be 3 game modes, or 3 games that we're going to be running. I don't want to spoil anything, but the last game I think is going to be obvious of capture the enemy HVT. So me or Boaz. So that one's going to be really chaotic.
It's going to be you specifically or Boaz, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm not going to be a.
No.
Okay.
I mean, we can make.
Oh, no.
We can make it like points for something if you capture. If we decide like.
Capture the captain of the other team as well.
Yeah, right. Or like other HVTs, that could be very interesting. But yeah, I'm actually really excited for that BB Wars. But yeah, enough of the depressing worst events. One of the best Airsoft experiences that I have ever had.
Like it could be a small thing, right? It could be like a pretty big like event that you just had like a lot of fun at. But like, what was something specific that happened? Like some of your best airsofting experiences during gameplay.
Oh man, there's quite a few things. You know what? In terms of just something happening, this one really made me feel good about myself. It was I was playing at the original Code Red at Colton, and there were just regular walk-on games, and there were a lot of like new players on my team that were younger. I would say younger than 16, right? They came out with, like,
So
their
like the
parents.
younger
Yeah.
kids.
And some of them were really like hesitant. They were really scared of like getting shot and stuff.
First timers.
Yeah, I think so. They looked newer to the.
You were
to the
James
sport.
Franco in the meme. First time.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, like I had died during like in the middle of this game. I went back to respawn, and I saw these guys like hanging back. I was like, hey guys, there's no one back here.
Yeah.
we should move up. They're like, oh okay. I was like, hey, stick with me. Let's go. We're gonna go get some kills, and they kind of got excited. And then like, I was like, all right, this is what we're gonna do. Like laying out this like kind of game plan of like how to move and coordinate, and they were really into it. I mean, luckily they could have easily been like, piss off, dude. Like, but yeah, it was really cool because I was like, hey, because I saw them just trying to give them a little bit of tips to give them a little bit of an edge. One thing that I saw was that they would look or they would turn the corner then raise their gun. I was like, hey, if you want to shoot faster, before you look around the corner, already point your gun. So that way when you look, you can immediately start firing. And they were like, oh, okay. And then they started doing it. They're like, you're right. And I was just like, yes. And for me, that was really a nice thing to experience, or a good thing to experience, just because like I felt like I was helping. I don't want to say the next generation, but like the newer players.
You gave them a good experience.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there are plenty of times where I've like gone to the field and like some of my guns are some of my old guns were really like built out.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's kind of crazy. I'm like, here, man, try it out. They're like, oh, thank you. And then they go like, this is so cool. And I'm like, hey, that's what this is about. Being cool, having fun. I have plenty of those experiences. I mean, I always try to be a good sport on the field, even off the field, like at like the chrono area, staging area and stuff. I like even before I started working at GI. The reason I really got into airsoft was because of the camaraderie, and because airsoft is an honor-based sport. It's not like paintball, which I used to play. There's no marker indicating that you're hit, so you have to call it. And when you see someone else call it when you shot them, it's much more gratifying because it's like, dang, like they respected the kill that I got on them, right? But what about you, Isaiah? Have you had any similar instances like that?
I've had many experiences like that where, I would see a younger kid, right, maybe their first or second time going. You can tell they were doing either using a rental or it was like their very, very first airsoft gun, right? They were having problems with it. Most likely they didn't charge their battery all the way, right? Especially if they're kids. That's just something you kind of like come to expect, right, with younger kids. Not saying that there can't be more responsible kids out there, of course.
Yeah.
Right? But a lot of times when the kids are having problems with their airsoft guns, especially if it's their first time, it's usually like, okay, yeah, they didn't charge their battery all the way, it died, and they didn't bring a spare.
I get that.
So I've let them borrow my guns before. I've actually mentioned before, I've let little kids literally borrow my Mark 46 before. It's so funny because they'll like you want to shoot it because they keep saying, oh, that gun's so cool, I want to shoot full auto. And then they're like, oh, it's really heavy. And I'm like, come on, man, you got this. I'm telling you, come on, just lift a little more. This is when you start exercise. I'm encouraging kids to start like working out at like freaking 9 years old. Come on, kid, lift. But like, no, I will let them use it. If I see that they're eyeing it, then I'll like, hey, you want to shoot it? Like, or sometimes they'll just ask, can I use it in the chrono? I just want to shoot it. I'm like, sure. Yeah. Right. I'll let them borrow it and let them use it there, just so they can see what it's like. Yeah. I'm trying to get more LMG users out there on the field.
Oh, I get that. No, honestly, I love doing that too. Letting like just showing people other options out there, especially like when I was primarying like my gas blowback rifle.
Gas is like the best. The reactions, right?
It's so fun. The way, like even like grown adults.
Yeah. Oh, like, yes.
The way their eyes light up is just it's pure joy.
It's just bliss, really. And when they're shooting it, because they'll like, oh, what is that? I'm like, oh, it's a gas blowback, and they're like, oh, it's so real. And I'm like, you want to shoot it? They're like, oh, sure. I've done that with my own 4 before. And they've and they've shot it before, and they're like, oh, hell yeah, right? And they're shooting it, it's like, dude, I gotta get me one of these.
Yeah, I love doing that. That's so much fun.
I think that is like on par. I think with kills. I think personally, maybe it's just me being a little slightly toxic. Like I think kills is probably still one of the best feelings on the field, gameplay wise.
Oh yeah,
getting a kill, like I think is still unmatched. I think the only thing closest to it is helping someone else do good, especially like getting their first kill or getting their objective completed. I think that's got to be the second best feeling. But I still think number one is still getting a kill on the field, especially when it's like one-on-one. You know that you're engaging with this target and he's engaging you back. Like being able to get the one-up on that player that's actively working against you is like the best.
I absolutely. Actually, you say that, and one instance comes to mind for me. I was at SC Village just after I started working at GI. It was literally like my first or second week. I went out with Vince Kim, my old manager, and my boy David Bauer. Shout out to both of you guys. Miss you guys. Love y'all. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm a terrible friend. I need to do better communicating with them.
Stay in touch with your friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Do that. But yeah, like they invited me like they invited me the day before. And at this time, I was living in Victorville,
Big drive.
Yeah, like on a regular day from Victorville to SC Village, if there's no traffic, that's easily still an hour drive. Now, there's always traffic, especially if you guys know that area through the Cajon Pass, the 15 freeway. It's terrible. Like, it could easily go up to a 2 to 3 hour drive. And I wasn't planning on going up to the house. That weekend I was going to be staying with my girlfriend, now fiance, and all I had was a gas blowback pistol and a couple of mags, and it was just it was so funny because they were like, "Oh, you can borrow some of our guns," so I was like, "Okay," I was like, "Yeah, I do have like my face protection. I I didn't have I don't think I had a play carrier. I might or might not have.
You might have had the cross draw.
Maybe. No, at that time I wasn't using that cross draw vest.
So bare minimum gear, essentially.
Yeah, bare minimum gear. Literally just face protection, gas blowback pistol, and handful of magazines. And it's funny because my boy Vince, he had this is at the time SC Village didn't allow full auto. I'm not sure about the rules right now, but my boy Vince, he brought his G36K out, which is built, but unfortunately it was overcycling and they didn't allow it. Damn it! All right, and my boy David Bauer, he let me use his FM G4. Actually, it might have been a regular G4, but this boy is tall and long. He is like 6 foot something with arms double the size of mine. With his setup, I was doing this to fire the gun. I was like, this is not healthy.
It's just like what, like just for like.
It was so damn long. It was like a 16, 18-inch rail and barrel. It was just a regular M4, but man, it was very difficult for me to use. I used it for a good portion of the day, but I got tired. My arm, my arms just gradually started losing grip strength. So I just switched to my pistol. And circling back to the whole point of this damn story, you said just being able to fight each other and secure the kill. In SC Village, one of the 2-story buildings, I had ran up the stairs and I looked to the right down the hallway, and there was a guy just like enemy player looking like dead at me, and I see him trying to aim up, and I immediately like jump back. I jump back to like the edge of the stairs. Unfortunately, he's on the side where he's like a doorway right here, and he could shoot from there too. And I was like, oh God! And we kept doing this back and forth jumping, and I was like, you know what? Screw it! I'm waiting for him. Got him. I was like, yes! And we both started dying because it was just like, what were we doing? We both. It was so funny. That was actually hilarious. But that feeling of getting a kill like that, just like, I mean, that was a one-off instance. But being able to secure a kill is definitely one of the greatest feelings. In my personal opinion, I think kills from a gas blowback rifle are one of the most satisfying. And the only thing that I think trumps that is a kill from a bolt-action sniper rifle.
I could see that, right? I could see a kill from a bolt-action sniper rifle being very, very satisfying. Just a very cathartic feeling, right? 'Cause it's just like just lining it up perfectly, racking that bolt back. Mm-hmm. Okay, I got you in my sights, right? Overwatch. Pull. That doesn't mean that always comes from I've got you in my sights, right? And being able to secure that kill, especially from distance. Distance. Literally, we've gone to. You remember Griff, right?
Of course, absolutely.
He had his bolt
That's
action.
my boy.
Yeah, he brought his bolt action out to Wildlands one time with us, and this was a game of hide and seek, right?
Okay.
So all 4 of us were like, it was myself, Chris Humphreys, Griff, and I believe his homie Brian at the time.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I remember Brian. He used to work with him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is
he the one that had the truck stolen?
Yes.
Whole other story.
We'll talk about that another time. But we all found each other because we were all hiding, right? Because we were like, hey, let's dinner, right? So let's go hide with each other. We're like, yeah. So we went up to the bunker on on Firebase. You remember that one little hut that's there, little bunker that's set up at the top of the hill? Firebase.
The one that's like right next to the main field.
Yeah, Babylon.
Yeah, Babylon. Yeah, I know which one.
That little bunker that's up there. We were all hiding in there, right? And they opened up like the whole section. They opened up everything for us, right?
Oh, really?
So like, hey, hide and go seek, figure it out, right? And we're like, hell yeah, right? We had the whole map to ourselves. We're literally hiding there, and we would see, like, oh yeah, because we can see the entire map. We're like, we can see players like the enemy like team, the seekers, right? They're looking for us all around, like through the main city map. So we're like, Griff's like, hey, I think I can get some of these guys. So we literally just pop up ever so slightly and just take a few shots. Every time he would pull the trigger, we'd all be looking. Like, is he getting? We'd see that we literally eyeball the BB, just quiet. And then you would just see in the distance, yes! We would all like cheer the minute that he got a kill.
But y'all be quiet. So I was like,
yes, like yes. We're like, that's my boy. We're all getting so pumped up, right? Just watching these BBs just.
Have you ever used a bolt action sniper rifle?
Yes. Not successfully, but I have.
What sniper rifle?
I've used some of these. I'm pretty sure it was like a JG Bar 10. I borrowed it.
Oh,
It was
okay.
like one of my friends at the time. I don't even know what happened to him.
Mm.
And he had a JG Bar 10.
What do you mean you don't know what happened to him?
I lost contact with him.
Oh, I was about to say, like, yeah, he went missing. That's the way it sounded. My bad. Continue.
No. I mean, like, he had no social media, nothing. So,
Yeah.
like, you know, one of those friends you meet at the field and, like, a couple times and then they just disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of those.
I get that.
But he let me borrow a JG Bar 10 one time, and this was at Hollywood. It was at Hollywood Sports.
Okay.
And it was on Mad Max. Yeah, it was on Mad Max, and I was like, oh, hell yeah, I think I got this kill, right? And every time I would pull the trigger, I'm like, wait, I forgot to rack the bolt back. That's like the one thing. In between shots, because I would shoot right pretty aggressively. I would be right, just suppressive fire.
Yep.
With a bolt action, I know, right?
Yeah,
But
hilarious.
I would be like, all right, cool, another shot lined up. I'd wait some time, and then I'd be like, all right, I'm ready to take the shot. And then I pull the trigger, and then I was like, fuck, I'm an idiot. I forgot to pull it. And by the time I pull it back, he's gone.
Yeah, of course. Being a sniper in airsoft, a
That's
bolt
hard.
action sniper, it's hard, and it's definitely not what people see because I think there are a lot of gameplay videos of snipers on YouTube.
They make it look so easy.
They
but
make
it's
it look
not.
so easy and so action packed. They take out all of the lull time.
That's the thing, guys. There's this little word that because my dad works in the news industry, and of course he does a lot of like production stuff. The magic of editing.
Yes.
Editing is a wonderful tool for content creators, right?
Absolutely.
Being able to literally highlight all the gameplay action that happens, right? Like you're able to take out all that dull time that happens in between shots,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Even if it doesn't seem like it's like that much of a cut or of a jump between one shot to the next, a lot of times it is. Like there's
Yeah.
a lot of waiting in between.
Yeah, absolutely. And being like me doing the bolt action sniper rifle role, like I whenever I got a kill with the bolt action sniper rifle, it was so satisfying, especially like with what you said, watching the BB fly through the air, especially like looking through the scope and just you see that. Like you see it move through the air. You're just like, come on. Come on, guys. You know, if you know, BBs don't fly like real bullets. This you see the with all the wind and everything. But getting a kill is such the most satisfying feeling ever. But I would like to ask you, Isaiah, what is the best field you've ever played at?
Okay, does it have to be specifically like it's made for airsoft, or can like AOs like events?
It could be an AO. It
Okay,
could be an AO too.
so because the reason why I ask is I do a lot of, if you guys don't know, I do a lot of like Milsom West events, and one of my favorite places to play at, you know, just for the vibe, like just for the aesthetic, is George Air Force Base.
Okay.
It's disgusting. Like it is literally
it is decrepit.
that's the best word to describe
It is.
That is a nuclear fallout. It's not actually nuclear.
No, yeah, no.
But like
It is destroyed.
if you could imagine what like a post-apocalyptic like city would look like, or like suburb, that's what I imagine.
That
especially
is-
here in California.
That is a OSHA violation
Oh yeah.
on a map.
There's a reason they have you sign the waivers, guys. Like I'll do it every time, but man, oh man, that place is dangerous.
No, but I do gotta say, the times that I played at Georgia Air Force Base is a lot of fun.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's so
It's
fun.
normally for like a Milsim event or something.
Or bigger, larger scale airsoft events.
Yeah.
But being able to play there is just so cool because again, it just feels like again you're in this other world essentially, right? Obviously, it's meant to replicate a suburban area, right? An urban combat fighting zone, right? But it feels really cool. Like I've stepped into a legit war zone, and that helps with the immersion, right?
Yeah.
Anything that'll help with the immersive factor of your gameplay, I think is a positive,
I get
right?
that.
Because again, you feel like okay, I'm in the zone right now. Obviously, I'm not gonna take it super seriously because at the end of the day, we're all here to have fun and look cool. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Right, but I'm not gonna be like oh you're ruining my immersion. I don't care. I don't care. I've seen guys like show up at that event, right, and doing like for a Milsim, and they'll have like the freaking like the super colorful SSG ones and stuff like that. Like
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I'm talking- yeah, like stuff that you wouldn't actually see in like a real event. But at the end of the day, it's airsoft. But whatever.
Exactly.
Playing at those places like those AOs is just really cool because again, just really helps the immersive factor, and it allows for a lot of creativity when you play it too. Right?
Yeah.
The amount of hiding spots that you can find. I will have to give a full disclosure. Be very careful when you're navigating anywhere in Georgia Air Force Base because there are open manholes,
Yeah.
right, that are still, no one knows what the hell's at the bottom, right? There could be a crocodile right there waiting to eat you. You know, sewer gators, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah. See, like especially like a not designated field, you gotta be much more aware than you think. Like even like if you go to like SC Village or just like some regular outdoor field, there's always the possibility of like
A nail.
not only just a nail, but like wildlife. I remember
Rattlesnakes, wildlands, yes.
that's exactly what I was about to say. The amount of times they're like, "Hey guys, there are rattlesnakes across the field." We're like,
What? No, they've had to close down certain parts of the map,
Exactly.
Firebase specifically, because like, yeah, there's just too many rattlesnakes around the area.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I do get it. But it's like, you still got to be careful. But, okay.
I'll still eat them.
All right. So, okay, this is what I want to do, Isaiah. There are 3 particular instances in my mind that I want to talk about. And in order for us to keep this podcast a little bit shorter, I think you should narrow it down to 3. Whether it be field, the game, the event, just an experience. Let's do 3, like the 3 best ones that you can remember currently.
The field, like the actual gameplay wise.
Just 3 instances of Airsoft as a whole. Whether it be an event, whether it be a specific game, whether it be
like post game even.
yeah, like anything. Let's give 3 separate events. So I'll go first. The first one I want to talk about was about 6 or so months after I started at Airsoft GI. There was a BB Wars up north at GamePod.
Okay.
This was an Origins BB Wars, but this was such a trip, literally, because I worked Saturday. It was me, Vince, Kim, Spencer, Michael, Jacob, my homie Sam. Who else came with us? Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I could say his nickname on.
Oh.
Yeah. I can't say that. Yeah, it was like a good like 6 to 8 of us. We got done here at GI. Store closed 7 o'clock. We were out by 7:15. We drove as soon as we got done up north. Where is, I forget where GamePod is.
Antioch.
Antioch. That's right. Stockton is CQB city, which I still want to go visit. But yeah, we drove all the way up to Antioch. We stopped to get food. We stopped for gas. But by the time we got up there, I drove the entire way up. And then they were switching off on the other car. You know, I'm a gangster. But but by the time we got up there, it was about 5:30 in the morning. And if you guys have ever been to Antioch, there's not a lot of like city area.
It's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't want to say middle of nowhere, but it's pretty rural.
It's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and we got there. We got off the freeway, and we were like, okay, cool. What's around? And we wanted to park next, like right in front of the building, so we could just like, as soon as like we wake up, like, okay, cool, we're here. Let's go check in.
Get ready.
Unfortunately, that's not what happened. They have a gate blocking off the lot, so we had to go find somewhere else to park. So we parked in front of this shopping plaza, whatever, and all of these guys that are in my car passed out. They're all knocked out. I was like, well,
might as well.
I was like, yeah, we can go to sleep here. But as I'm sitting there, security rolls up on the car.
Oh.
We're the only car in the lot. We're directly under a light because, you know, just to be visible, you know, no one's sneaking up on us or anything. Not that, plan for the worst.
Yes.
So the security guy came up. I rolled down my window. He rolled down his window. He's like, hey guys, how's it going? I was like, hey, I'm sorry we're parked here. You know, we're here for an event. We're from Southern California, from the LA area. We just drove this amount of time. We're waiting for the field over there, and he knew the field. I was like, oh, okay. That's the event going on tomorrow. I was like, yeah, we're just here. Is it okay for us to park here? He was like, no, but I won't bother you. I was like,
Thank you
so much. And so I was still wide awake. I could not sleep for the life of me. So sun starts to rise. It's about 6:30. We go to McDonald's. Oh, it's funny because Vince Kim hates this story because he swears we didn't try to wake him up because he's like, he loves McDonald's breakfast.
Oh, so do I.
If you don't like, yeah, absolutely. The Jesus slipper hash brown. It's so good. It's crack. There's crack on a platter right there. But yeah, I woke everyone up. I shook the shit out of them, including Vince, and he was just, no, you guys didn't try to wake me up. No, I'm pissed. Like, he was so salty about it. I was like, dude, we all tried to wake you up. We shook you. You were passed out. He was like, no, I don't believe it. I was like, what's the reason for me lying to you? I have no reason to freaking lie to you. So, but we ate, we got to the field, and that was one of the best days of play that I've ever had. Yeah, so after we got to the field and it opened, we got registered. Walking onto the field was so surreal. I mean, at that point, I had only seen videos of GamePod. You don't really know how big GamePod is until until you're there. When you walk in through the door and you look up, it looks like a Costco warehouse, right? And I believe it's like an old like processing like building. I don't know what they did, but it's huge. Like, you look up and you cannot see the other end. You do not see the opposite end wall. It's huge. It's literally a town inside of a building. It was so cool. I think we played 4 games total, but they were each like an hour and a half long, full of chaos. You know, there's the airport area, the school area, the gas station in the center, just a whole bunch of buildings, rooms, mazes, absolutely insane. And like, it was utter chaos. I would say the game modes themselves, the scenarios, were rather smooth. It wasn't like, BB Wars isn't anything really intricate, which I really love it, and you get a whole diverse group of airsofters. But just the whole experience of, you know, like, working, busting that drive. Oh, it was a 1-day turnaround too. It was terrible. Oh, this is absolutely terrible. You know, busting the drive with all the homies in 2 cars. We have Baofangs communicating with each other. So we're sitting there just like, hey, we're, you know, stopping. Okay, Roger, you know, doing like, the whole thing. And we played the whole day. A whole bunch of people were out there. It was a whole lot of fun. The moment we got done, we're like, okay, we're starving. What's around? We go eat at a Denny's, and whenever I go to a Denny's for some reason, not for some reason, I know I'm the reason, that
am I the problem?
We are the loudest group.
Yeah, I can attest to this.
Yeah, we are the loudest, most obnoxious, annoying group in Denny's. And we're like, is there like a back corner you guys can just sit us in? Unfortunately not. And they sit us in the dead center of the thing, lined up all the tables, freaking Last Supper style, like, just like, I'm at one end of the table, Kim is on the other end, all the friends in between. Oh, Paul Kim went up too. Paul Kim drove up by himself, and he because it was a 2-day event. It was Saturday and Sunday. He brought Fury before he sold it to Taylor, and he was launching these Nerf rockets, doof, doof, doof. And it's funny because he was such a game changer. They had to put specific rules on day 2 for him.
I can imagine.
It's so funny.
Honestly, like, yeah. Anytime we bring out like launchers, I'm not gonna lie. Like, maybe it's us, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we're the problem.
No, it's not maybe. We are the problem.
But like, we'll always try to find a way to like how we can creatively use this to cause as much damage as possible, right? They literally have to come up with rules for like, okay, yeah, you can't use these launchers. It's a risk.
Yeah.
Or if you hit someone, it's like
Oh, yeah, but he was using foam footballs, Nerf footballs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not Nerf. They were like Nerf footballs.
We were using tag-ins, like the chocolate.
Oh, you guys were. No, yeah.
Sometimes we'd use them and they would go through the drywall.
I know that story. Yeah, you motherfucker. Y'all are dangerous.
Hey.
But no, yeah, it was such an absolute blast. I remember the very last game. The whole time I had brought my Sword Art Online swords.
Oh.
I just slid them there.
Were you waiting for an opportunity to use them?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was trying to duel Bob.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to duel Bob. It was because, you know, Vince, he was the Empire leader at one point. So I was like, oh no.
General Kim, right?
Yeah, General Kim. So I'm getting the dub for him. I was like, I want it. So, like, there was like one game where like he was like lightsabering dueling some other dude, and I was like trying to walk over there, but I just kept getting shot, and I was like, I want to duel him, but I don't want to you know, make the guy who shot me like feel bad that I'm just standing there like not calling the hits. I was like, all right, I'll walk off. The very last game, I literally like talk to everyone. Like, hey guys, let me be up front. Let me be right there at the door. This was the dumbest decision I could have possibly ever made. I went in no rifle. Just the swords in my hand, and I was just gonna rush it. Again,
not the smartest of decisions.
Not the smartest of decisions, and again, you cannot see the opposite end of game pod from one end of the building. But let me tell you, it was me, Aaron, Spencer, and Mike. We sprinted to the other side of the field. The moment they called game on, we like Ezra Miller Flash ran that all the way down, and like literally we got like to the building right beside where Bob was before I got shot.
Oh.
When I got shot, the guy was too far away from me to melee, and again I didn't have a gun on me, so I was like, damn it, I should have thought it through. I was just in the zone. I found out later that Bob was in the other building, and if we were to have gotten him, we would have won the game. I was so mad, bro.
So heated.
I was so heated. But honestly, that has to be easy top 5, possibly top 3 airsoft memories or best experiences for me.
Okay, all right.
What about you?
I've mentioned a few, right? I mean, I won't go into too much detail about one because I've talked about it a bunch of times.
Okay.
Milsom West event, the 13 hours experience that I had, that's definitely going to be up there. But I'll talk about another time. If you want to know more about that event, go back to some of our previous podcasts. I've mentioned that plenty of times.
Yep.
That's got to be definitely up there.
Yeah.
And top 3 easy for me. But I'll go on with another MSW event. This was 2019, this is late 2019 too. This is at Georgia Air Force Base. This is one of the first events right before COVID hit.
Okay.
Right, right before lockdown was initiated, right? So we go up there. This is the time that we had, think about 2 squads worth. So we had 18 guys all on one team, right, on our side, right, that we were in charge of. I was leading one team with a couple other guys. This was day 2 of the event, right? This was kind of getting towards the end of the day. Towards sunset hadn't hit just quite yet, right?
Okay.
We're going on one of these
Twilight.
we're going on these mass patrols, right? Again, just looking for trouble, trying to secure this area. See, okay, where are they generally?
Yeah.
Right? Where's the enemy moving? So we're doing our patrols, and we got ambushed, right? Our whole team, all of NATO, gets completely ambushed. We get into this massive firefight. And you can't even tell all the time where they're coming from, right? You can get a generalities, okay, I'm taking fire from this direction, but I don't know what building, what floor, what room they're in, right? So it's all right, take cover in the rooms, try to clear it out and get to cover, and then just try to move from there, right?
Okay.
So everyone was scrambled, right? Because this ambush, it was really good on the Russians. I'll give them that. This ambush was really well thought out because they cut us off too. It was all right, cool. As soon as we moved in, their reinforcements had arrived from the rear and just completely just surrounded us in this little tiny, area, this block, right? So essentially it was one block that we were confined to.
Okay.
So we're trying to fight our way through, and of course our comms aren't working at the time, right? Comms are scattered, no one's able to properly communicate. So I'm just all right, fuck it. How many guys I have with me? I have 5 guys. Okay, I have 5 guys with me. 4 big guys. I'm not gonna do the whole.
I wasn't even gonna do that. I wasn't even gonna say that. I was
You
gonna
thought
say
it.
burgers. That's what I was thinking.
No, I was thinking the rap song. Anyway. And then they post the mines. Anyway. So I had 5 guys with me, right?
Okay.
5 guys with me, no burgers. I want to go ahead and start moving up because at this point, if we stay here, we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
We're all gonna die. And if at that point, things look futile, just go out with a bang because at least we're doing something.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So I'm all right, let's just go, right? So I started gathering a bunch of guys, start off with 5. And then we were able to meet up with a few other guys from our team, and then just some randos too. We're just fuck it. So we're literally just trying to clear buildings room to room, just moving up, right? Because I know we're trying to at least make our way forward. I know originally the game plan for the patrol was to move forward, and then swing around this one section of the city just so we can secure this whole area.
Okay.
So we're trying to do that, right? And we keep getting into engagement, we keep fighting people, and we can't ever really confirm that we're able, how much of a size of an enemy unit that we're going up against, right? We know there was a few guys for sure, but it must have been at least 10, maybe 15 dudes around there, right? But we can never get a for sure number. We get split up from the rest of NATO, right? And it was just literally by the time we had stopped to take a breather, we had moved up this city street quite a long way, and it was I think 14 dudes with me, right? So me is like 15. There was just a bunch of randoms. My team
Yeah.
and then a few other guys we'd picked up strays.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, the rest of my team's dead. I'm like,
A
fuck
few
it.
random versus doubling your team. That's
No, it was just like we would see that constantly. Some guy by himself, right? It's
Yeah.
like, what's the rest of your team? Where's your squad? And it's like, oh, I'm part of like 2-1 or I'm part of like 1-3.
You're with us now.
I'm like, fuck it, you're with us now, right?
Yeah.
Like, all right, cool, let's go. So it was just this nice big unit, this 2 squads worth of guys that had moved up the street, and we're just like, all right, so we're trying to stay in contact with everyone because the fighting seemed to stop. It all of a sudden became quiet. What the fuck's going on, right? We're literally by ourselves. Very few of us have nods, and the sun's starting to go down now.
Oh.
Sun's starting to go down now. We had made our way. We're lost. We're like, all right, where the fuck are we? We know we were here.
That tree, that's right here.
The trees aren't on the map. So we're like, where the fuck are we, right? We're trying to figure out where we are on the map.
No.
And we're trying like
How big was the AO? Oh no, it was
it's all George. It's all of George.
Yeah,
all of
okay.
George, right? And like, of course, our comms are very staticky, very fuzzy. It's just again the distance. You know, it's a big AO, right?
Yeah.
Always get an extended whip if you can. Right, which at the time I didn't have. Right, I was just using the standard one. So
I was 4-inch,
bummed.
6-inch one.
Yeah, I was bummed, right? But we started hearing some like movement, right? We're like, because this big ass like, I think it was just a dirt pile for some reason. We had made it to like this one little like housing like apartment complex. There was this dirt pile in front of it, right? Looked like a tiny little like mountain. So one guy's on top and he's like, hey, I think I got movement. And we're like, what the hell? What's going on? So, and he's like, oh, I count like 7, 8 bodies moving towards us. He's like, oh, make that 9, make that 10, make that 12. And we're like, oh shit, right? So we all take like cover behind this hill and we're asking, all right, like, so what do you see? And he's like, all right, they're moving here. I was like, can you PID them? Can you like identify them as friendly or foe?
Yep.
And he's like, I can't really tell. He's like, they got these weird like crossing guard armbands. That's Russian.
Yeah.
You know the like little like brightly colored. Yeah.
The tape.
It's like they got some weird letters on their front. I'm like, that's not English. That's not English. I was like, that's not English.
What are you doing?
That's not English, man.
I would be mad. I'd be so mad at this guy. Like, boy,
I kind of get it, right?
You don't.
I kind of get it, right? He's trying to be like make sure, right, just in case it means something, right? And
Yeah, I get it.
I'm like, yes, that means death.
Yeah, that means enemy, fool. You blast them.
But there was a lot, and they were all going through this like it kind of looked like long grass, right? Almost like this really tall grass that they're walking through, and they're just kind of like moving sneaky. It didn't seem like they were moving towards us, just kind of adjacent, kind of to us almost.
Yeah.
They were trying to move to a building that was near us, but they were going to bypass us, but they were getting closer and closer. So it's like, all right, everyone was like, shh, wait, right? And the minute we started hearing their footsteps get a little bit louder, we're just like, okay, now. We all jumped out.
Oh, yes.
Like, of course, I had that Mark 46, so just spraying the entire. I think there was one other LMG user with us, and everyone just with regular rifles, but everyone just unloaded into this field. We know for a fact that at least 4 of their guys went down, but the rest of them, as soon as they saw it, they booked it in the opposite direction. They're like, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. They ran the complete opposite direction.
That's right. That's what you do.
So we went back. Apparently, we were talking to Chris and all the other like team leaders and of course platoon leaders about what had happened. Like, hey, we encountered these guys around here. This is where they seem to be coming from. And they're like, oh, okay. So what it seems like, we told them they're wearing the weird armbands. It's like, oh, those guys were like I'm pretty sure like some of the like that was like a cadre like a squad, like those are like the cool guys on the other team. Those are like all like the former Rangers and all the former dudes, right? Yeah. And we know because later on it turns out that was like one of the cadre. Yeah, confirmed.
That's
so
funny.
It's like, dude, we like held back and pushed back like a guy of like a squad of like actual legit dudes.
Yeah.
I was like, that was one of the most proudest moments that I've had.
That's actually freaking dope, dude. That like honestly, just the way that the circumstances aligned for you is like top notch.
Yeah.
Like if I was in that scenario, I'd be like, let him come. Let him come. You I'm like, yo, wait.
My gun is thirsty.
Like I'd be giggling like they have no idea what's about to come from behind this hill.
Still, that kind of gets me. It's kind of weird symbols on there. That's not English.
Let me tell you something. That right there, you know me. I'm very loud when I hear something outrageous. Like if I hear it, I call it out. Just the type of person I am. I'm annoying, but I'm just like, are you still?
What is that noise? Oh shit!
Exactly. I would have ruined it. I'd be like, you idiot. That's actually really funny.
That's got to be like I think number 2, and then I guess my last one. Or unless you want to go with one more. You want to go with?
Well, that was your first story, wasn't it?
I've talked about the other story before.
Okay,
the 13 hours experience. I don't want to do it again.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll wait some time for that one.
Okay, all right. So I guess I'll talk about I guess the second most bestest airsoft memory that I have. So I would say the next takes number 2. And it honestly, between number 1 and number 2, it's very, very
Close.
difficult for me. It's this close apart. It's the U.S. Airsoft World BB Wars that we went to.
Oh yes.
Everything was...
Forgot about that event. Fuck.
Yeah, everything for that event was just... We had the long drive. We were on the road for like, what, 12 hours, something like that?
Or I think.
Maybe. It was super long. And it was a combination of the long drive, us driving up with the boys, being able to hang out, talk, whatever, even though like I was like exhausted to and from. Like
This man binged all of High School of the Dead on the way too.
Did I?
Yeah.
Honestly, that's just the go-to because it's already downloaded on my
On your tablet?
Yeah, on my tablet. It's not even an iPad. It's a Kindle Fire. It's like an old ass Kindle Fire from like 2013.
Hey man, whatever works.
Yeah, but I mean, normally when I'm not the driver, I tend to pass out. Personally, I'm just exhausted. But it was the long drive, us, going on the adventure. Then when we got up there, not even getting up there, not even going to the field yet, but when we arrived at the hotel, Brewer and his son were there, and we saw Undead Fred, Hasmin, and everyone else in the hotel. And then we did the, what was it? What did Boaz call it?
Oh yeah,
the Jailhouse Gym.
Jailhouse Gym.
And then we did all of that. Then we went to the field. Then we saw everyone else. We saw Darktree. We saw Ackbright. Fidel, Trinity and Chef.
But Fidel's the one that I think that surprised us the most.
Oh, dude, that blew my freaking mind. Cause we called it out.
During your stream.
Because he had gotten into a car accident, I think, like a month or so before, and he was like, "Damn, I can't make it out." And we're like, "Okay, no worries, dude." But then he had bought a ticket, and this is after that I found out that he wasn't gonna go to the event. So I was like, "Okay." Whatever. And then like Bossman was on the phone with me. He was like, Fidel just bought a ticket. Fidel, are you going? Like I got excited, and then he put in the chat. He was like, "Nah, unfortunately, like I just wanted to show support." And we're like, "You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to buy a ticket. We want attendees." Now.
Yeah, I remember.
Like we don't for BB Wars. We
want attendees. Attendees nuts. Anyway, got him. Anyway, keep going.
We were just like, I was like, okay, whatever. I was like, thanks, man, but I'm gonna refund your ticket because, no, I don't want to do that to you. So,
did you ever see his video about his perspective?
I did see it.
When that happened, he was like, "Oh shit, gotta come up with something.
Yeah,
gotta speech 100 this."
I know he was slick, the most slick motherfucker I know. This man Fidel, my boy, It's funny because we were in the middle of unloading the van, all the stuff, getting set up, and then Brewer walked up and was like, "Hey, did you see Fidel?" I was like,
"We're like Fidel? No way."
We're like, "No," and he was like, "Yeah, he just walked in." I turn around, and he's turning around at the same time. I was like, "No fucking way!"
I did the Spider-Man meme.
I literally ran up to him and just bear hugged the fuck out of him. It was like that, and U.S. Airsoft World. Everyone there. And the field being so dope, the event, the game modes, and being able to actually play with the guys that we've only communicated
via Discord.
Yeah, via Discord or during the live stream in the chat and stuff.
Yeah.
It was so cool to do, especially since we started doing the social media more. I started doing marketing stuff in 2019. You started doing more and being more active within the past couple of years. And what we I don't want to say just me or you, but all of us, including everyone that's a part of the male gang, our community, getting together to play like that, so damn cool. But then not only that, Bossman treated everybody like Korean barbecue up there as well.
Let's honestly shout out to Bossman because he treated us for every single stop that we went at.
Yeah.
Every single restaurant we went to. But I think that one was the funniest just because he hated it.
Oh no. Him and Boaz were so bad. I was so exhausted and hungry. I was like,
I don't care, man. And it's
it
free.
tastes good
At this
to
point,
me.
it tastes even better because it was free.
He was like, I'll pay for the food. You guys pay for whatever drinks you want. I said, bet.
Yeah.
I said, Garçon? Garçon?
I felt so fancy with that live piano player in there. It sounds like how classy. Our expectations were set so much higher because we saw a live piano player in the room just playing away, just adding to the vibes, right?
Yeah.
Boys was so hyped. He's like, oh, we're going to eat fancy tonight, boys.
No, yeah, that was mid at best.
Yeah.
Like low mid.
That was like some knockoff, like Wish.com K barbecue, man. Like,
but
free food, though.
Yeah. And shout out to the boss man for sure. He definitely took care of us. But just that whole event experience was just so much fun. Like, of course, I had a blast playing Airsoft.
Of course.
But it was everything about that. The trip up, the trip down, seeing like all of our friends, getting to have dinner with them, and then just us like bullshitting in the parking lot of the hotel. Like they had like this random turf area underneath
Did we drink?
some benches.
I know I didn't, but
I did.
Yeah, you did.
I wasn't driving.
Besides, we were not
Drink
driving.
responsibility.
Drink responsibly.
I'm old as hell. I'm
Don't do
32.
drugs. Don't do drugs either.
Yeah, don't do drugs. Which no one did. But yeah, we like just getting to hang out, talk. Not even just talk about Airsoft. Of course, we talked about the day and like the kills we got, but we just started talking about random stuff about each other's lives, what we're into. It was such a like.
I went into my whole childhood with a real wild and free brewer.
It was so funny, just being able to just hang out like that. Like honestly, like it's really, really freaking dope that we have this kind of camaraderie and friendship across like states and stuff. But at the same time, I'm like, damn, I wish y'all were down here so we can go hit the field more.
Like on a regular basis, being
Yeah.
able to do that would be super fun.
Yeah, but that has to be the closest number 2 on my top Airsoft best moments.
Okay, all right. No, honestly, that yeah, I could see that. Honestly,
Such
I'd
a good
forgotten
time.
about that, and I was like, fuck, man, I did have such an absolute blast.
Wasn't it? It was so dope. It was actually really cool because that was your first BB Wars.
First BB Wars ever.
Ever. Not even before working at GI.
Yeah, and that was like the first time that I ever gone to a BB Wars event, and I was in a position of leadership,
Yeah.
like, where I had to help like organize it too. I was like, oh shit.
Oh yeah. Oh, it was such a good day, man.
It kind of became real that I was part of like I guess the marketing team
Yeah.
during that event specifically. When I started having people ask me for my signature or
Autograph?
for like autograph, or they would ask me for like pictures with me, I was like, oh,
It's
it's still like
it's kind of strange.
it's kind of strange, but that was the first time that it got real to me. I was like, oh yeah, right, people watch the things I'm on.
It's fun to say, and it's not like for like obviously we are hosts of Airsoft GI
Yeah.
social media, and it's not coming from like a place of like being cocky or
No.
being like having a big head or anything, but like having people recognize me and ask me for like a picture or autograph is still foreign to me.
Yeah,
because I'm like
seeing that
you want a picture with me?
You sure?
I was like, are you sure? You could get a better picture of something else, my boy.
I feel bad because like literally like a few of them would ask me like, oh, the person I have like, oh, can I get a autograph? And I was like, oh yeah, let me get Cisco. I was like, no, I want your autograph. And I was like, I literally froze there for like a good 2 seconds. I was like, are you sure? I couldn't think of anything. I was like, are you sure? Like,
Yeah, no, and I love all you guys for real, like 1,000,000%. Like the fact that, like I've said it before in like streams and stuff, the fact that I'm able to share this hobby, or now I would say lifestyle of Airsoft with everyone is really cool, and I don't want to say it's strange, but I never really saw myself of being someone would admire, like not to the sense of like a celebrity, everyone wants to be a movie star, but you want to be a star, don't you? But like I never thought that I'd be in that type of situation, even though like I do have a lot of passions that I like to share with everyone, but I don't really see it as like I am like some type of influence or anything. I'm more of a guy that's just sharing my passion with everyone, and seeing that is so cool. But I think my number one story is gonna be the first time that humbling experience of that you experienced at US Airsoft World. But what is your number one? If we have more time.
No, we do.
Okay, we have a little bit more time, so we're gonna have to speed run it.
I was gonna say the US Airsoft World, like when you brought it up, I was like, oh, that is a good one. But honestly, I think number one is gonna be the time that you guys had invited me and we went up to Mr. Paintball.
Oh, bro,
2017. The reason why.
That's number one?
That's number one.
Really?
For a very specific reason. That was the first time that I was like, oh, these guys, I can call these guys my friends. They actually view me like that.
Oh, fuck it.
Because at first I was, I was an outsider coming into GA, right? I worked customer service, right? So very different hours from what at the time the storefront employees and the marketing team were doing.
Oh, yeah, at that time you were working 9 to 5:30 and storefront was
10 to...
like 10:45 to 7:15.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was slightly different. And
different building.
Yeah, different building. Yeah.
So I was like, I felt like a complete outsider, right? So I was just like, all right, cool. I had known about them and I had talked to them before previously. Like I brought like donuts or like stuff for everyone on the team before, just because I wanted to be nice, right? But I never really had like an experience where like, oh yeah, like we play together, we do this. I played with Mike a couple times.
Oh yeah.
That was about it though. We played at Tac City. But I had never really gotten a chance to actually hang out with all the storefront or the marketing boys. And
it's funny that like it was that because you came along to play. I was going to work. But,
for me, it was play.
Yeah, for him, it was play.
So, like, we go out, right? And, like, they sent me the invite. They want to come. I was like, oh, fuck yeah, I want to go, right?
I remember you carpooled with me, didn't you?
I carpooled with you the entire way, right? I was so nervous the entire time.
Why?
I was like, fuck, man, I don't want to miss out, come off as weird. Because that's the big I've had like I'm not
weird.
I'm not antisocial. I will always say.
But you have social anxiety.
I have social anxiety, and I'm just socially awkward.
I'm both. I'm both. I just own it.
Like I want to talk to people. It's not that I don't want to talk. No, I want to meet everyone. I feel like internally I have Labrador energy, right? Because I want to meet everyone. I want to be super friendly.
Yeah.
But when I get there, I'm like,
I understand that.
I don't know always what to do it.
The closest way that I could describe it is more of like a stage fright type of thing, where it's like a little bit of fear, hesitation. Because it's new, you don't want to come off like what you said, like weird and awkward and stuff.
Like I've performed in front of people. I would rather do that than have.
No, I performed in front of people too, dude.
Like that feels way more relaxing and like okay, that's normal.
You want to know why? I've dissected this mentally. Okay. When you're performing in front of an audience, not everyone's staring at you. Not everyone's really paying attention.
That's
even
fair.
though you're on stage giving a performance.
Yeah.
You're not like directly engaging them.
Yeah.
They are there to watch a show.
I'm afraid of intimacy.
No, actually. No. Yeah, it is more of an intimate thing though, where it's a one-on-one conversation, more interpersonal, where you're not just displaying some type of show, but you're actually having a genuine conversation.
Like I was trying to be as like cool and like upfront with everything, right? But at the same time, in the back of my head, I'm like, oh man, don't fuck this up. He said, you don't want to like scare people off and like because you're weird. And then the worst thing happened. I've mentioned this before.
I remember.
And like I was like, you know what, cool. Like he offered like, hey, because I was having gun troubles, right? He's like, hey, you want to borrow my KWA AK gas blowback? And I was like, oh hell yeah.
It was my AKG.
The AKG, and I lost like 3 of those magazines. I lost 3 mags.
That shit was hilarious. Was it 3?
It was 3 because it was $150 that I had to give you, and I remember I had to get the cash to pay for it like a couple days later. As soon as I saw it, I was like, here, I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's funny because I completely forget about it until we talk about it.
I never forget about it. I never forget my mistakes.
Bro, get over it.
No, I don't
get over it.
No, because I remember that I'm like, okay, I'm borrowing someone else's stuff. Don't lose it.
I mean, here's the thing. It's happened. I've lost plenty of things myself. I feel like I'm more disappointed in myself when I lose my personal things versus if I lend it to someone else. It's like,
I'm like this close to committing Sudoku and just
stop it.
Yeah.
That's absolutely funny because I do remember like us inviting you. That was like a couple of weeks or so after you started the storefront.
Right? When I transferred from customer service to storefront, yeah.
Yeah, and we're like, hey, just come through. Like it's not like we think you're fucking weird or anything, but I do understand it because especially being like foreign to or not familiar with other people.
I was about to say like, bro, foreign.
Yeah. That's just not being familiar with other people. Like there's always like
bro, we're both dark. What are you talking about?
That's not what I meant. Okay, why are you being racist, dog? No, but
you're not from this country.
Yeah,
when you're
and honestly, during that time, I was like, cool. Isaias is down to come through. Like, I wanted to get to know you a little bit better as well. And we talked about the most random shit to and from.
You know when I knew that we became friends? It was when we were on the way back, right? And like we're just shooting this shit. And you the whole time Cisco loves pranking me, right? Just like being like, oh, I made you look right, doing all this kind of shit, right? I don't
remember that.
No, I remember you blocked it out. I made the biggest, like, I'm pretty good at impressions in general, right? I practice them quite a bit. I made the biggest, like, cop siren sound that I could possibly muster, right? I made the most realistic cop sounding, like, siren sound, woo, right? And I was like, oh, Cisco, because I kept thinking, I think there's a cop following us, right? And Cisco's like, he already has pretty bad anxiety, so I knew I was getting, he's like, oh, maybe there's a cop following? I don't see him. He's like, yeah, Cisco, I see the black and white. He's tailing us right now. And I made that sound. And he's like, oh, fuck. Like, I saw the color flush out of his face. And he's like, oh, shit, where are they? And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, man. I had to do it to you.
I don't remember this, but hearing about it, I hate you.
Because I was like, oh, man, I made him laugh. And I'm like, yes, okay, we can be friends.
I don't remember that, but man. Yeah. I don't like being pulled. Who likes being pulled over?
No one. I don't.
I plan on getting pulled over today.
No, because you were like the whole time you were just poking fun. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try it back.
That's hilarious. That's absolutely mad funny. Well, we are getting past an hour now, so I think we're gonna need to postpone my top memory. So if you guys want us to do a part 2 of best experiences, we could dive a little bit more because I have plenty more stories.
No, so do I. But that is going to be the end of the Ray Shock podcast. My name is Isaiah.
My name is Cisco. Before we sign off, though, make sure you get your tickets for BB Wars Arid Revival going down October 21st at SC Village. There aren't going to be any walk-on player tickets available, so it's pre-register only at airsoftchat.com. I'll include it in the link below. It's going to be one hell of a time. You can join Isaiah and I on the Empire or join the Stinky Rebels with Boaz.
The Stinky Rebels with Boaz and Justin.
Peasant. Get out of here. No, it's going to be an absolute blast, and you guys can take advantage of all the promos we got going on at airsoftchat.com. There's thousands of products discounted. You can use coupon code 20th currently to save an additional 10% off. A whole bunch of stuff going on.
Remember to go and place your orders for Airsoft GI specifically because we're the only Airsoft retailer that awards your $20 plus order with a chance to win a shopping spree giveaway. But now we're going to be signing off. Have a good one, guys.
Later, y'all. Peace.